I know it is February 1st, 2026. However, we are going to talk about January. Hey, my name is Larissa, aka La Supreme, and this is Reality versus Actuality, where my life is based on a true story. Now, I must have blinked and went from like 54 subscribers to over 1,000. So, shout out to y'all. Like, what? Woo woo. I'm trying to tell you, okay. So, because I don't know y'all don't know me, I just want to give a brief disclaimer about what I'm doing here. First of all, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I can tell you that I'm not here to convince anyone on anything. I'm not here to persuade anyone on anything. I'm not here to force my beliefs, my practices, or anything I do on anyone. I am just creating a space where I am sharing my world. I am really a vulnerability is somewhat my superpower. I am focused on transparency, authenticity, and I'm just letting you all in my world a little bit, just sharing my experiences, the blessings, the lessons, the highs, the lows, the positive, the negative, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the pretty, the cute, the stank, the funky, like just everything, okay? And whomever it resonates with, yes, shout out to y'all. And whomever it doesn't, shout out to y'all too. Because what? I am not for everybody. I'm not here to be for everybody. I'm just here to connect with those that want to connect with me. And even in the cyber world, you know what I mean? So this is my digital footprint. And this is what I do. I write, I create, I talk, I speak, I share, I think, I analyze, I study, I read, I research. Like, this is my life. So I just put it out there. I just share videos, pictures. It may be some spoken word, it may be a freestyle. You're going to get a little bit of everything here. So, welcome. Hey. So, let's get into it. Now, December, I talked a little bit about the show Lucifer. That was what, like, putting off the performances and just being who you are. You know, thriving is who you are. I discussed the show Lucifer briefly. I only scratched the surface and I did kind of want to double back and elaborate a little bit more. So, it was a series. I think it came out like 2016, 2018, and then they finished it in like 2021. Do not quote me on those dates. Oh, pause. Another thing with me, I'm not going to give you I know a lot of people provide resources, but if I speak about anything, any experience, any book, anything that I have learned or read, anything that I have gotten out of it, I'm not going to per se provide you those resources. You know, now I do have my own way of studying, reading, thinking. Everybody does. We all have our own perspective. We perceive things differently. So if I share anything, you do your own research. You go out and do your own research and find whatever resonates for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever like to just tell, oh, well, go read this book or what is, because nothing that I'm saying is an absolute truth. It doesn't have to be an absolute truth for you. It is just my truth, okay? But so the series Lucifer, um it was based on, now I'm gonna say this, because I don't really subscribe to any religion. I will say that. But my spiritual journey did start at, I want to say, roughly around the age of 18, and I did start in church. So when I was in church, I was reading the Bible, I was taking notes, I was very much into it. I didn't read the whole Bible, I did not. But this Lucifer show actually makes me want to go out and get a Bible and read. Well, I've had Bibles, but I left them when I left my house, but that's a story for another time, another day. And I do actually still have this African Bible in storage, so I have to get that. But it makes me want to actually read the Bible in its entirety, and not even just the Bible that has been printed, like these missing books, like there are missing books. I know Enoch is one for sure, and there are several others, but and that's just something, like I say, you could go out and do your own research. But the show Lucifer, okay, so we all know Lucifer, the shining one or the light bearer. And the show actually did, whoever wrote it, they did their due diligence. Either they read the Bible or they talked to some Bible scholars, because I could tell that it wasn't just it they had the scriptures to back it, like Isaiah, Ezekiel, Revelations, Genesis, Peter, Matthew, Corinthians. Like they had a lot of different scriptures to back what they were saying, even in the midst of the theatrics. But I like how it he was a fallen angel that was supposed to be going back to his post in hell, but he stopped in LA. So boom, he stopped in LA and ended up working at like this little police precinct. Now it was really funny too for me. It was funny. But I'm gonna just briefly try to elaborate a little bit more about what I liked about the show. Okay, so Lucifer, he was, of course, the devil. He was at this police precinct. What I liked about him is that he wasn't wearing a mask. He went everywhere he went. He let everybody know that he was the devil. His name was Lucifer. He came from the pits of hell. Nobody wanted to believe him because he was handsome. He was rich. Well, for what they, and he had this little British accent or whatever. He was charming. You know what I mean? But one thing that I liked about the show is, I did mention this in the other video, where you see the people, the devil, Lucifer, and his demon, which was Mazikeen. They were, Mazikeen, she was lustful and she liked to fight. Lucifer, he did all the drugs, all the partying, just wild, promiscuous. But they were truthful. They were honest. Okay. Now, when you show the angels, one that was coming down from heaven, Armenadil, which was, I don't know if, well, I ain't gonna say that. I don't know if he was supposed to be a representation of Jesus or what, but he, cause they didn't have like a Jesus that actually, in the show, they didn't, anyway, but Armenadil was the angel that came down, which was Lucifer's brother. He was coming down, he was supposed to be coming down to get Lucifer to go back to his post in hell. So Armenadil was the angel, supposed to be, the holier one that came from heaven. So that means he does no wrong. But the angel came down. He done had a baby. He was lying. He was, plotting, doing all types of stuff, to get Lucifer back. So it just shows that you really cannot go off of appearance. You have to. Lucifer, although he was this wild, promiscuous person, and Mazikeen, they were honest. They were truthful. They didn't lie about who they were. But the issue started taking place when they felt like they had to be something else to try to be accepted. So they wanted to try to be good. Now, to fast forward it all a little bit, because it was a lot going on, what it showed was, even though Mazikeen was abandoned by her mom, which was Lilith, and oh my goodness, let me pause on that, because it also showed Adam and Eve. They were two characters on there. The thing that, because Eve was supposed to be created from Adam's rib. Now, Eve left, and to come back, she was coming back to find Lucifer, because Lucifer, I guess, gave her this, she felt this energy like with Lucifer, where she could be herself, who she wanted to be. Now, let me tell you, I hope you all are keeping up. But Adam was married to Lilith before Eve. Eve was created from the rib, and she left Adam because she wanted to be her own person. She said, yes, she was created from the rib, but she was just an extension of him. It wasn't more so she was able to be free and who she was. It was she was created directly to just be his wife, just made for him. So read in between the lines, get whatever you want to get from that. So just to go back, even though Mazikeen, Lilith abandoned her children, well, yeah, she left them in hell because she didn't want them to feel anything. She, like, basically, if they are in hell, they don't have a family, they don't have feelings, they don't have emotions, they can't get hurt. But in reality, when she left from hell and she came here on earth, then she started getting in tune with these emotions. Now, they all did therapy. This is so freaking crazy because the angel Armenadil ended up having a baby with the therapist. Like, he was a baby daddy. It wasn't no marriage. It wasn't anything. This is what I mean by the devil was... You can't say, oh, this person, you can't look at this person and say, oh, they're good, they go to church, they do this, they do that, and feel like that they're exempt from life happening or temptation or being dark or lying or anything like that, because that is just not the truth. And sometimes you look at people and you judge like, oh, they're wild, they're this, they're that, but they're the most honest, pure souls out here. You just never know anyone's story. So fast forward all the way to the end. Lucifer, of course, was kicked out of heaven because he got a little arrogant, thought that he could be God and do what God wanted to do. He thought that he could do what God was doing or better. He wanted to be God, basically. That's why he was kicked out. So God did come back, and God came back as a black man. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. And they had a goddess. She came through someone's body too. It was a white lady. I'm just saying. But towards the end of it all, with him thinking that he wanted to be God, and he was actually, well, God retired. Now this, let me tell you, this is what's even crazier, because when God retired, all types of stuff started like happening in the world. Like, the other children up there, excuse me, the other angels and stuff were up there, like wreaking havoc, requesting all kind of, granting all kind of prayers. You know what I'm saying? So it was like mayhem going on in the world. And it kind of makes me think like, dang, has the big guy, or, whatever you subscribe to or whatever you believe in, I personally don't think it is a person in the sky looking over everyone. I do believe in energy that is both masculine and feminine. It is a source. I do believe in a higher divine power. But just for the sake of the show, I'm like, has God retired? Is that why the world is in the state that it's in? So anyway, he was retiring, and he was going to let either Lucifer or Armenadil take over, and he was leaving it to them, giving them the choice to figure out to see which one should do it. So Lucifer, and it was a lot, because it was some time traveling stuff that was going on. It was some real like celestial stuff that, even though like it's the theatrics and it's dramatic, but it is a lot of stuff that kind of makes you think. But anyway, towards the end of it all, Lucifer realized that he didn't want to be God after all. The only thing he was trying to do was prove that he was good enough, like just to be. He just wanted, because he was put out, because, he was looked down upon, like he just wanted to be God to prove that he was good enough, and he didn't need to be like anyone or do anything to be good. So that was the whole thing. Armenadil did end up like taking on the position. It was like, I think I end up like crying it in. It was like very emotional. And I want to touch on the whole aspect of hell in the show. So hell, it wasn't this place where you were just burning, because to be honest, that personally never made sense to me. But I don't want to disrespect anyone's belief, but the Bible does say, like, when you're gone, you're no more, and I'm not here to be a Bible thumper or anything like that. But so what is burning? Like, what is burning? And when you really think about it, what is burning if you're just a soul or a spirit? But the aspect of hell was, you go to hell, like, and you're basically reliving your guilt. So let's say if a person, whatever sent them to hell, whatever sent them down to hell, that last memory, or it may not even be necessarily that last memory, it's just whatever you have in you, like, that you haven't forgiven yourself for. It is not more so about you forgiving anyone else. It wasn't about you forgiving anyone else. It was about you basically acknowledging what you did, or the guilt. Like, it's basically you acknowledging and recognizing what led up to that guilt and freeing yourself of it, letting go, and then, like, you could basically move on and rest. Okay, so y'all still with me? I hope so. So that was like, I just wanted to kind of elaborate on it a little bit more, because it was refreshing. I'm not big on series. A fun fact about me is that I do like watching movies for a hobby, thrillers in particular, but that Lucifer, from beginning to end, I watched it, I enjoyed it. And if you were keeping up, because I know, like I said, some people are a trip, I'm a bit of a vacation. We're going to take off and we're going to go around the world, and then we're going to bring it back home, to the point, and make it clear. So, with all that said, me touching on the show, it all related back to real life. I mean, every aspect, from the demons needing love, wanting to be loved, from Lucifer wanting to be loved, trying to fight his emotions. So he was holding back because he did not feel like he was worthy of love. And that's the whole thing about him wanting to be God. He just wanted to prove that he was worthy, that he was good enough. And what is the cliche saying? You are enough. You are good enough, exactly as you are. Your flaws, your faults, your blemishes, your bruises, your trauma, your pain, like, you are enough. You are good enough. And how the ending was, like, it didn't leave you on the cliff, or it just let you know how everybody grew. How the angel lost his power because he was out here lying, out here doing shit he ain't had no business doing, but still out here acting like he better than everybody. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't, because he was out here doing shit that you would think the devil was supposed to be out here doing it. You the angel. And that's why he lost his wings. I didn't get into all of that because it's like the dramatics of it. But the wing aspect, to me, it relates to his power. Like, you lost your power because you're out here thinking you're better, looking down on other people, and you're out here doing the same thing other people are doing. So, yeah, it was just a really, really, really great show. And I enjoyed it. Now, January, it wasn't about... my January was really more so me... Okay, I'm going to say this, and we're going to wrap it up. January for me, imagine living 43 years. It'll be 44 this year. But imagine living 44 years of your life. Imagine being the shit, the bomb, beautiful, smart, just gifted, creative your whole life and not really knowing. So January was one of those months where it's like, dang, you thought that you needed this, that, or the other. You thought you needed to go to school and graduate and get a degree. Every time I didn't do something where I felt like I was supposed to be doing it to be somebody, it made me feel like that I was inadequate or that I was less than. You know what I mean? But January 2026, which is the year of the fire horse, it really kick in February sometime. Don't quote me on that, but this is the year of that fire horse, that energy. We're propelling, moving forward. And it just really let me know that I never needed anything to simply be who I am, because we really are born before concept, before we were even born, before that sperm met that egg, before we were thought about, before our parents connected. It was a concept of who we were to be, what we were to do, the energy, how the stars aligned for our personalities and our characters and all of that to be. It was already written. Okay, it is written. It was written. And then what happens is we come into the world and we are taught and programmed and force fed these beliefs of who we should be, what we should be doing, and which some of it may work for us. A lot of it, a lot of times doesn't, because it's like a cycle being repeated. I want you to do what I did. And that's the only way that you can be great. But in my personal opinion, that is not reality. So even as a parent, I'm a parent of two, an adult daughter who is the bomb, and a son who is about 12. I'm talking about 12. He is 12. He is also the bomb, but different generations, different parenting, different children. You know what I'm saying? I went through different things with both of them. And each time it always led me back to myself. Me trying to be a parent to my children, it was in return teaching me that even though you want your children to do X, Y, Z, you want them to be these little people that you want them to be, it's not a reality. Like, they have to be their own people. Now, giving them that foundation and the structure and the discipline is necessary. But as far as you should be doing this, you should be doing that, that is not, because these are the things that children, we people, we should be able to freely grow and learn, discover, and develop. You know, my personal opinion, again, because otherwise I feel like it creates a whole bunch of little robots. So I am so glad that I came to that realization in January. Like, I listen, and this is not on no arrogant ish. January was the month where I was like, you know what, girl, you really are something else. Like, girl, you really are the shiznai. You know, you really are her. Like, without nothing, right? Right? Without the new car, without the house, the mansion, without my bank account overflowing with the dollars. Like, you really are her. Like, my skills, my talents, my gifts, my natural born gifts, my thought process, even the way that I have reared my children. Like, I am the freaking bomb. So when the money come along, it is okay. Let me say this, because I had my little fair share of having or earning more than I ever could. Well, I'm not making it seem like, oh, I was just hitting millions. I barely was at 100,000. You know what I'm saying? But I've had my fair share of where I seen more than I had. And what I realized, and you don't have to agree with this, because like I said, I'm not here to convince anyone, persuade you. These are my views, my thoughts, my lessons. One thing I realized when it comes down to the money is it'll never be enough. It will never be, there will never be a dollar amount living in the system that I'm living in that will be enough. And the more you make, the more you want to make, the more things you want to buy. And what slowed me down in my tracks, because I was losing sight of the whole divine purpose, I broke my ankle. And then it kind of just brought me back to reality. I'm not going to get into all of that. That's another story for another day. But I just realized the more money, I know a lot of people like to equate money with happiness, but I just cannot relate to that. I found my happiness, my inner happiness, when I let it all go. Now, am I a bum ass bitch that is just gonna go without? Like, no, of course, I got it all one time, I could get it all again. But that really does not make me. Things that I do not make me who I am. And I'm going to end it on this note, because this might be about my longest video ever. Girl, what? I've just been talking. But yes, I hope all is well. Thank you. Shout out to you all for subscribing to my channel. And do not forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for the next update. I hope February is good to you. Like, I just want it to be so sweet to you, like honey. And I just want all your blessings to stick to you, the intangible and the tangible blessings. Because we like to focus on the tangible, the things, the physical things that we could see and touch, but we don't, express our gratitude enough for the intangible things that we don't see, that we can't touch, that the mere fact that I'm here able to talk and make this video and share my world, my thoughts, my views with you all, and that you're actually here alive in good health, in good spirit, even if it's not a good day. You know what I mean? It's still a good day, because you're here, you're alive. You have breath in your body. You can take another step towards the happiness. If you can't take a step, you might don't have your limbs. Look, you still here, able to maneuver and do whatever it is that you need to do. So it's like just really seeing the positive in every negative, no matter what. Now, I know we done went around the world and back. We finna land, and I'm about to get out of here. I hope you all have an amazing day. Again, an amazing February. I hope your blessings are just so sweet. And don't forget to express your gratitude for the intangible, the things that you can't see, you can't touch. Okay? Because a blessing is bigger than God just giving you something physical. If you are truly spiritual and you believe, and you already know that, okay? So be well. All is well. Peace, baby.